Leapsome with our Reviews module. In the dashboard, you'll see any open tasks, any received feedback, and any completed assessments. To create a review, we have 4 sections over here that are useful. In templates, you'll set up the actual questionnaires that will be sent out. In automations, you can automatically send out a template depending on the onboarding date of an employee. In the cycle section, you'll see an overview of all your ongoing cycles, and in analytics, you'll see the analytics from all of your reviews that have happened. In templates, you can use one of our best practice templates or create your own using the blue Create button. To edit, you'll want to go in and hit Edit. You'll want to determine who can actually own this template, who can send out this review template, and what the name and description to guide your participants are. In the scope, you'll determine who's actually filling out this review. So of all the participants, each participant will write a self-assessment, their manager will write an assessment of them. Any managers will have assessments from their direct reports, and everyone will determine their peers. In the peers section, you can determine if managers approve or select the final peers for each participant, if participants select their own peers, if peers are auto-nominated if managers don't approve after they've been nominated, or if anyone can volunteer as a peer for any participant. You also determine the minimum and maximum number of peers. In the questions section, you determine which questions are asked and to whom. General skills and team-specific skills, when turned on, will be reviewed during the review. Score might be required, and we also suggest that you require comment so that further feedback can be included. Here you determine who's actually reviewing the person on this skill or question. For example, here, what do you consider your/her/his biggest achievement since the last review? You can determine if just the manager's answering this question or if everyone will be answering this question. You can also use a private question if you only want the managers and admins to be able to see the answer. This might be useful for more private responses, such as matters having to do with pay, promotions. You can make it a multiple choice answer. You can add instructions. And again, you can require a score or a comment. If we continue, we move on to the visibility. Here you determine the visibility for each person in this review. The visibility for admins, at which point is it available, the name of the actual author of each review, visibility for manager, and for the reviewee. Here's essentially where you determine when people get to see reviews and if those reviews are anonymous. If we continue, we define the timeline. When will this be kicked off? How much later will a peer nomination be required? How much later is the peer and self-assessment deadline? The manager deadline? And by what time should the manager and the employee discuss the review? In the notifications section, you can either keep our recommended optimized default messages, or you can use custom emails that you've set up yourself. You can also determine what the task reminders are if there are any open tasks. When you finalize, your template has been finalized. To use this template, we recommend hitting Use from the actual templates page. Here, you'll then press Use. All of your settings have been set up, and the only thing you need to do is go in, determine who the participants are, and determine the timeline. Once you've done that, you can finalize and set off a cycle. When you continue to the dashboard, you'll now see the current status of this cycle. We can see when the kickoff is, when peer nominations are, as well as the current status of each person in the review. So, for Ann Perkins, she needs to fill out a self-assessment, and Tracy Jordan needs to fill out his manager assessment of her. When we go back to the list and we head to cycles, we can also get a high-level overview of all of the current reviews that are happening. So this one that we just sent out, the kickoff is pending for December 1st. In automations, you can set up such things as probation period assessments or biannual performance assessments that happen for each individual on their own schedule. If I want to create a probationary period assessment, I'll say once after the employee joined the company, and let's say it happens 12 weeks after they start. If we want to make this repeating, for example, a biannual review, we'd say repeating based on your schedule. Maybe we want it to start 26 weeks after and happen every 26 weeks after that. You can also determine if this happens for all employees or specific teams, and you determine which template you'll use. So here, let's say I want to use a non-anonymous 360 review. I can then save. That covers how you can use the reviews section. Check out our analytics video to understand how to interpret the analytics that come from your review.